A customer that did not order in the front where customers are.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your manager. Go do your job. Go do your job. Go do. No, it's not. You're harassing me. I'm talking to your manager.
You're harassing you.
You don't have no clout.
I'm working.
Your manager is right here.
So there's a sense of entitlement I'm feeling already. You've come into my establishment, is what she just said. Now, if you're the CEO or the owner, then you've got a case. But currently, you've just said your manager's standing next to you, so it's not your establishment. You just work there.
You're not above her. Go do your job. Get out the way. You're the problem. You and her are the problem. You're going on court. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to corporate on you too and get your ass.
So I'm seeing a lot of these hand movements, and I'm going to make an assumption here. It's just an assumption, so don't shoot me down for it. I'm from a ghetto, a hood, a street background, and I know what these hands movements are all about. And it's a behavior that I'm seeing from her where she's definitely street. She's definitely from an area where sometimes pride rules people's head, and they will do anything to keep that pride intact. And that's currently what I feel like I'm seeing right now. It's a moment where you've got a colleague holding you back, essentially. You've got your manager next to you. And my personal opinion, as someone who's worked in customer service face-to-face for over a decade, once your manager arrives, you kind of distance yourself from the situation and let them take over, instead of parroting in the background, or in her case, not letting anyone speak anyway.
Ass out of here. I'm going to get you out of here. Make me leave. Make me leave. Make me leave. You don't own nothing here. You don't own nothing in here. Go get therapy.
The way she's acting, I'd be surprised if she even listened to her dad or anyone like that anyway.
I'm not your father, your man, or none of that. Stay in your place. Stay in your place. Stay in your place. Stay in your place. Do your job. Stay in your place and do your job. Do your job. Stay in your place. I'm talking to your manager.
So when he's saying stay in your place, I think he's coming from a demeanor of how she's acting as a woman towards a male. There are certain men, I think this is what he's trying to say, that would attack her. They'd forget all the talk and they would attack her, which I'm not condoning for a second. But this is what happens when you start going toe to toe with a man thinking you're a man.
I'm trying to pay for my food. Go over there. Oh, you got to ask. You don't need to be in here.
She just pushed her manager's hand away. It's just a lack of respect for everyone at this point, because as I've said already, the pride has taken over. She has to be right in this argument, irrespective of what it costs her, even if it's her job.
Go home.
You don't need to be in here.
You need to send her home.
Who needs to be in here more?
You need to send her home because she doesn't know how to deal with.
Who needs to be here more, me or you? Well, if the customer doesn't come through the door, order stuff and pay for said stuff, then there isn't a business for you to be working in the first place. Clown world.
With customers.
You or me?
Her customer service is very horrible.
You are very horrible.
And this video is going to corporate too.
Talking about anything.
Look, and that's what's wrong with black women today.
What's wrong with it?
You're not a man. You're not a man.
You're not a man.
Okay, so this is the first time I've seen this man kind of drop down to her level. And I think that was uncalled for, because as someone with a black mother who has had to watch my mum endure people talk to her like that. And when I say that, I mean it in a way of, there's times where my mum's had to defend herself verbally. She's been in the right, and then she's been referred to as a angry black woman. And that's essentially what he's just done there. He's generalized, and I think it's more about her environment she's around and less about how she looks.
I am. You don't know how to respect men. You don't know how to respect men. How much is it again? I'm sorry.
Doesn't respect women, don't need no respect.
How much is it again?
And in terms of respect, you can't be talking to anybody like that when you're at work. irrespective of if you're wrong or if you're right, you have to handle yourself a certain way. And the moment that you react in the wrong way, all that gets teared from under your feet because you are an employee representing people in a uniform. You cannot behave in this manner and expect a get out of jail card because you're a woman. It doesn't work that way at all.
Deserve respect.
How much is
They need respect. You're not going to get respect
for the large spaghetti soup?
Yeah, and then two chicken. You
Thank
got the money
you,
to pay
baby.
for it. Causing all that.
She's talking to he's talking to the manager. She still has to get involved. It's crazy. And all this pointing and waving hands. I'd assume if that counter weren't there, she'd actually be up in this guy's face, which is, it's just a big no-no.
Thank you, baby.
What? Yeah, he's nobody. Then he's talking to me this crazy. He's talking to my boss about black woman. Your mother was black. I hope she noticed how
I love my mother. I don't love you.
do.
I don't love you. And she don't act like you.
She
Yeah.
raised you to be that way. So
I
I'm just
love my
wondering, I don't
mother.
know the way she
Yeah.
Me mama, I wake up, I hear all this going on. I said, I'm chance of blessing with you. And then nobody coming.
So we always have to get that one person in the background, doesn't really know what the context of the conversation is and jumps in. If that woman had any common sense and watched all of that, she would not be backing up this employee right now. I've been in situations where I've had people right in my face, poking, really, I'm feeling myself getting wound up. I can tell I'm getting myself wound up. And I understand that that is exactly what they want from me, is to wind me up to the point where it spills over and I end up looking like this. This is a textbook example of how not to carry yourself at work. Don't do this, guys, because you will be in that queue for lining up for your check from the government. I'm telling you that right now. It's just the wrong way to behave, and it's a very combative way to behave in an establishment where, you know, in this day and age, everybody has one of these. You're being recorded and you're still keeping up this behavior. It's weird because this is kind of a reverse of what I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing a customer up in either my face when I was working with customers or a colleague's face, doing their absolute best to provoke whilst recording so they do get the reaction from us, so they can get us reprimanded by our company because something didn't quite go their way. So they were being vindictive and trying to be, you know, the Karen host, old Karen syndrome. But to see an employee behave like this, it's just not a good look. And I would say 9 times out of 10, she'll be shown the door simply because this type of thing going viral, I can see Panda on the top. If that's a restaurant in America or wherever it is, they're not going to want people to associate this company with this woman at all. So they will promptly show her the door. It's just a clear demonstration of how not to carry yourselves at work. Guys, there are many buttons you can hit, but a like and subscribe button. I hope it did tickle your fancy. And as always, guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.